Coach, give me 1 second to make a little bit of an adjustment.
There we go.
Should be I think you're already on it. It should be a little line right in front of you. Make sure your feet are right behind it. Look on the ground.
Yep.
So check my focus real quick. All right, go ahead and give me a quick 10 count to make sure your audio sounds good.
Quick 10 count.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to mute myself.
Excuse my voice. I've been quite active out on the field, so I'm a little hoarse.
All right, well, we'll open it up for questions for Will Stein. Chase, you're up first.
Morning, Coach. I love that hat, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Love repping the state, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, you've got such a loaded quarterback room as far as experience goes. How beneficial is that for you when you have 4 guys that can almost help you out? Or do you see that with these guys that have so much experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think each guy brings a little bit different to the table, and Coach Lunny does such a great job coaching those guys up, with his experience as a play caller, number one. And then I think it's important to be coached up by guys that played the position, especially at the level that Coach Lunny did back at Arkansas. So, those guys all bring something a little bit different to the table, as does multiple positions on our team. We got different personalities at each group. But we really like what we're seeing out of all the quarterbacks and all the other skill position players.
Yeah, and speaking specifically on receivers, who are some names that have kind of stuck out to you so far in camp?
Well, you got to start with our older guys. Sheldon Jones has done a great job being a real vocal leader for our group. Brennan Dingle, the grad transfer from UMass, has really stepped up. You got to think about him. He's 23 years old. He's by far the oldest guy in my room and takes the field every day like a pro. So he's been a great addition to our team. Zachary Franklin's a young guy that is another guy that's really taken a leadership role. And, I joke with him, call him Coach Franklin out there on the field because he knows everybody's position. He's very tuned in the offense and has a great knack for the game. Josh Sheafus has really stepped up as an outside receiver playing our Z position. I like his length. I like his speed, his football IQ. JT Clark has had a really great camp as well. His speed and ability to stretch the defense is something that we need on the perimeter, and he's done a great job. So I really like what we have. We're pretty deep. We got length. We got speed. We've added, more depth to the slot. I really like guys in there that can find space and get open and create yards after the catch with their speed. So I feel like we have that at that position, at our F position in the slot as well.
And tomorrow, Coach Traylor said you guys were scrimmaging. What are you hoping to see from your group in that scrimmage to kind of separate each other?
Yeah, I mean, number one, perfect effort. We want to see guys finish plays. I stress to my guys all the time, once I catch the ball, we got to have great runners with the ball. We got to create yards after the catch. And so I really want to see that. I want to see guys breaking tackles and using all the techniques and fundamentals that we've been coaching so far. And then we always talk about don't beat ourselves, DBOs, pre-snap movements. We got to make sure we're set. We got to see the signals. We got to get lined up quickly and then go execute the play call. So I'm just looking for a clean scrimmage and the guys that compete and display our perfect effort.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Coach, I'm curious, what goes into being a passing game coordinator exactly? How do you describe what that role is like?
Well, I'd say it all starts from the vision from our head football coach, Coach Traylor, and what he wants to see our offense look like. From then it goes to Coach Lunny and his expertise of our offense and what he wants the offense to look like. And then from my perspective, I need to be an expert on third down pass game. I need to be an expert for red zone pass game and give my wrinkles of how I can best see fit to get our best players the ball as many times as possible. And I got a motto in my room, it's feed the studs. Our goal as an offense is to create mismatches and get our best players the ball as many times as possible. So with Coach Lunny's direction and Coach Traylor's direction, I'm there as an assistance to them and figuring out our best plays, our best ways formationally, scheme-wise to get those players the ball and let them use their talents.
There's obviously a pretty significant quarterback competition going on right now. Do you have a say in that with your role, or how do you, evaluate that process?
Yeah, that all stems from Coach Traylor and Coach Lonnie. You know, they really spearhead that. But you know, we talk as an offensive staff about all of our positions. It's a great room to be in terms of coaching. You got a room full of a lot of guys with a lot of experience. We have multiple quarterbacks in our room from me, from Coach Lonnie, and also two of our off-field coaches. So there's a lot of eyes on that position, obviously. But ultimately, the ultimate say is from our head coach and Coach Lonnie.
Well, what have you seen from that group just from your perspective then? Are there any standouts at quarterback so far?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, they all bring a little bit something to the table, which is nice. You know, I think they can all throw the ball. You got guys that have running ability. And then the one thing that I like, and I've been in multiple competitions at the quarterback position myself, is that they're all in it together. You know, that's great to see that there's no locker room lawyer going on or guys talking behind the play. Everybody's encouraging each other and being a great selfless teammate. So it is a healthy competition, but they are fierce, man. They're competing their tails off and giving our receivers a chance to make plays down the field.
Hey, Travis, you're up. JJ, you're on deck.
Will, I think Garrett Wilson has some free time on his hands this fall. If you guys can borrow him, I don't know if that could work out. Just kidding. What did you see with your time at Texas with Coach Traylor that made you want to take this opportunity and join him at UTSA?
Well, first, I mean, when he first arrived, we almost arrived on the same day. We arrived in March that year, I believe, maybe February. And he was just infectious. I mean, you wanted to gravitate towards him because of his, number one, love for his players. He's a guy that pours his heart out into his kids. And, you know, I've been around guys like that, but not to the extent of Coach Traylor. Such a big personality, such a warm-hearted person, love for football, love of the game. It just was immediate. I knew I wanted to work for this man. I knew I did from that get-go. And I was so fortunate to coach the receivers with him at the University of Texas. And then we always stayed in contact after he left. While he was at SMU, while he was at Arkansas, and I stayed at Texas. And then I went to Lake Travis, and he was able to recruit our school because his daughter went to Lake Travis. So he's been a mentor to me in this profession. His son is one of my best friends, Jordan, who works for the Saints. And his whole family treats me and my wife like we're family. And he's a special human being. He's unbelievable to work for. He has the heart of an assistant, meaning he lets us coach. He does not micromanage at all. He gives us a job description, and he lets us go execute it, just like we do for our players. We give them a job description, what they're supposed to do, and then let them go play. So he's honestly the perfect head coach to work for as an assistant. And then he's a fearless recruiter. He'll go up toe-to-toe versus anybody in the country. It doesn't matter if it's a Power 5 or a Group of 5 or FCS, whatever. He's relentless. And when your head coach loves to recruit just as much or more than your assistants, then it makes our jobs much easier as recruiters because you can get the head coach on the phone at any minute of the night, and he's hitting up our kids all the time. So he's just a great man, number one. He's a family man. He's a man of faith. And he gives us the opportunity to really coach and do our job.
Thanks, Will.
Yes, sir.
All right. JJ, you got the last question.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the younger players in your wide receiver room. What have you seen out of some of those guys, and are you surprised about any of their contributions this fall camp so far?
No, you watched last year's film, and a lot of those guys played. You know, we're really deep at that sophomore class, redshirt freshman class, which is really good for the future. I love our length, number one. Big catch radiuses by all those guys, which is really nice. Speed on the outside has been very impressive. You know, we're hitting 20-plus miles per hour multiple times a day at practice, which is very fast. You know, we signed Isaiah Davis in that early signing period, and that was a great get out of El Paso. He's a 10'8", 100 kid and can really run, got great length, big hands. I'm really excited, you know, and I'm really pleased at their progress so far, learning a new system without spring football, mostly via Zoom, which, I mean, it'd be hard for me to learn a new offense totally on Zoom or without practicing it. So I've been really pleased with just their effort each day. They bring a strong mindset to meetings, taking great notes. And even guys like DeJuan Griffin, who only played 1 year of high school football, So if you look at last year, that was only his second year. Now he's really starting to progress, really understanding how to play the game of football. And I've been very pleased with my room. We're still nowhere near where we need to be, but I think each day we're getting better, and they're starting to master our system. We just got to keep improving techniques and fundamentals. And then when the lights come on, when the pads come on, I want to see dudes that have that feed the stud mentality, that want to be studs, that want to be guys that we can count on Saturdays.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. We'll get the players in there shortly.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Keith, Frank Harris is here. All right. Give me one quick second. I'm going to do some quick adjustment to the camera. Screen or the camera, whatever.
Okay.
All right, Kyle already told you, but there is a line right below you. Make sure your feet are right behind it.
Am I good?
Yes, sir. Do a quick focus. All right. 1 second. Make my focus look good. That's not focus. That's Zoom. Give me a quick 10 counts. Make sure your audio sounds good. Don't mind going and quick count the 10. Just make sure your audio sounds well.
Who, me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Very good. That sounds good. All right. I'm going to mute myself. And Kyle, it's all you.
All right, guys, we'll open it up for questions for Frank Harris. Chase, you're up. JJ, you're on deck.
Good morning, Frank. How are you feeling? How's the injury recovery been? And are you 100% ready to go?
Yes, sir. I'm feeling really great. I've been taking it day by day, and just being out there with my guys is a great feeling. And, of course, I'm ready to roll. Been out for a very long time, and it's just a blessing to be out there.
And for you, how much of a test has it been over these last several years, specifically last year? You know, you get the start, you're back, you're ready to go, and then all of a sudden you suffer another setback. For you to persevere and come back hopefully stronger than ever, how was that kind of test of a willpower, so to speak?
I just think God's testing me, and keeping my faith has really been getting me through it. My family, my teammates, and the coaches, and everybody really been getting me through it. And trying not to think about that too much. Just going out there and playing and competing and being out there with my teammates. It's always a great feeling going out there and trying not to really worry about the past. I know I battled through some injuries, but I'm just going to keep persevering and just being better.
And right now you're involved in a 4-way quarterback competition, a lot of experience in that room. How are you guys competing while at the same time building each other up to make sure that whomever wins the competition is ready to take a big step forward and lead this team?
Iron sharpen iron, and, you know, we all go out there and compete. And, you know, we don't compete with each other. We compete with ourselves. And, you know, we like to build each other up. And if someone makes a good pass, you know, we let them know it's a good pass. And if somebody's doing really not bad, but, you know, make a bad pass, we try to go out there and encourage them to move on to the next play. And so that we go out there and compete, and, you know, the best man wins, and it's going to be no hard feelings.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes, sir.
JJ, you're up. Evan, you're on deck.
Frank, what's it like in the quarterback room? That everybody tells us you guys are close. Are you guys really friends? Is the camaraderie really there with you guys?
It's crazy because we're actually talking to me, Josh, Joe, and Lowell. We're all talking outside that we're trying to get together and you know, have a little quarterback thing so we can go out and do stuff. So we actually really are. It's not just them saying that. We're always together. We're always joking and laughing and, you know, just doing something crazy and try not to get in trouble.
Thanks, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Evan. Greg, you're on deck.
Frank, how's the I appreciate it, Kyle. Frank, how's the transition, just learning a new offense and what Coach Traylor and his group is putting in? What have been the difficulties, or has it been difficult picking everything up?
I think it's been a great transition. I think we're taking it really well. Everybody's buying into the new stuff and the new staff, and everything Coach Traylor and the coordinators and everybody else is telling us. And I think the team is really buying in, and I think it's going to be a great season for us.
And then also, I want to talk a little bit about the San Antonio recruiting scene, because I see it on social media just how it seems like more and more here in the city of San Antonio are welcoming the idea of going to UTSA. Obviously, you did it a few years ago, and you know, part of that growing trend. Just what does it mean to you to continue to keep kids here in San Antonio and build something at UTSA with those kids?
I just think it's a great experience, you know, playing in front of your family and friends that don't really got to travel too much. You're just putting on for your city where you grew up in your whole life. I mean, why not stay here? Why go someplace else and, you know, I guess sort of say rep somebody else's city where you can just stay home and rep your city and have everybody come out support you. And we got something building here. It's going to be something special here in the near future. And why not be a part of that?
And do you feel like it's becoming a thing? Where do you feel like kids that you talk to are way more welcoming to the idea of staying at UTSA versus maybe when you were committing to UTSA?
Yes, sir. I think so, because, you know, we got some big time recruits who actually could have went somewhere else bigger, I should say, and decided to stay here. So I feel like after we had a few guys do that, you know, people are seeing that staying home is not as bad as everyone makes it seem. And you see some guys who leave and they actually come back. So it just shows that, you know, it's something special about this place, and it's just not a few guys doing it. It's actually something real, and it's a reason why everybody's coming back or staying here. It's not just a flake.
Appreciate it, Frank.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Greg, you're up.
Frank, Josh Adkins over the summer said that his relationship with you and your guys' conversations were part of the reason that he ended up here. Can you take me through what that was like from your perspective?
You know, we played against each other at Smithson Valley. You know, always had battles. He earned my respect, I earned his respect. You know, we've been competing for a very long time. In the All-Star game, I wasn't able to play. He was a quarterback then. Me and him had started talking then. And when he went to New Mexico State, you know, we kind of stayed in touch, kind of really talked a little bit about stuff. And so after he put his name in the portal, I reached out to him. I think I was like the first person to call him. I had FaceTime, actually. And I asked him what was going on about the situation and why he was leaving. We talked for a little bit, and he ended up saying that he was actually into the transfer portal. And he at that time, he didn't know where he was going to go. And then it was my birthday. He ended up knowing he was going to come to UTSA. He had called me before he made an announcement on social media. And he had told me he was going to come to UTSA and wanted me to be the first to know. And I told him I respected his decision. And, you know, I mean, just come on and we're going to welcome you like anybody else. So it was no hard feelings at all.
When you talked that first time, did you kind of pitch him on the school or the benefits of being here?
Well, I mean, he was a grad transfer, so he could have really went anywhere he wanted to. He really didn't ask too much about UTSA, so I really didn't want to push him anyway. I told him wherever he goes, you know, he's going to make an impact, and just for him to make the right decision for himself and not for anybody else. So I'm pretty sure that the best decision was for him to stay close to home because he's from here, and just try to put on for the city.
Hey, Hector.
Morning, Frank.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, this question is kind of jumping off of Evan's questions. You know, since UTSA started the program, they've been recruiting local guys, but it seems like when they were recruiting you and you decided to go, it seemed like there was a shift at that point. Like at that point now, the highly recruited guys that could have gone other places were choosing to stay home. Do you consider yourself in any way kind of a pioneer in this movement of keeping guys home and keeping guys around?
Well, during the whole recruiting process, you know, a lot of us are really close. We all grew up together for the most part. I know somebody down the road. So, I mean, me and Jarvion, you know, we go way back. So when he decided to stay here, I reached out to him and asked him why he stayed here. Glasgow was the same way because that's my cousin. So I had asked all them guys who could have went someplace else why they chose here. And I actually prayed about it and thought about it. And I decided that the best place was actually like to stay close to home. And after that, you know, I just wanted to reach out because, you know, me and Shai grew up together. Me and Spence grew up together. So we all, Jalan, all of us really grew up in the same area and grew up in the same place. And, you know, you see, we play together Little League, but, I mean, it's crazy getting an opportunity to play with people you grew up with in the college level. So, I mean, after I showed here, I reached out to Shad. I wanted to get Sincere. I wanted to get all those guys. So after we got those two and Spence, it was kind of like, man, those guys had some big offers. Spence had some big offers. Shad they all had big offers. So them staying here was a big trend. They just showed that they wanted to actually stay home and rep their city. So after those guys came through, it just showed that they really wanted to stay close and that they could put on at a school like UTSA and not go someplace else, I guess you could sort of say, bigger. So that was a great leaping for us is for them to stay home.
And for you personally, Frank, as you worked your way back, is there a certain aspect of your game that you would say is better now than it was before the injury?
I'll probably say my passing game and my accuracy. I put on some weight during the time I've been injured. I really couldn't do nothing but lift. So I was rehabbing and started getting in the weight room a lot more with Coach Follow. And I give a lot of credit to him. He put a lot of weight on me, so I probably gained about 8 to 10 pounds over that time. And that it was a big accomplishment for me to just gain some weight and gain some muscle so I could protect myself.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Greg, you got the last question for Frank.
Frank, there's obviously a lot of conversation going on around college football right now about the pandemic and whether the season is going to happen. I'm really curious specifically about the last couple of days. There's been a lot of conversation about myocarditis, the heart condition that can develop an athlete who tests positive. What have either your coaches there or the training staff told you guys about that and the risks that you face because of that?
They have talked to us about it. But at the end of the day, it's our decision if we wanted to play. And I guess you could say put our lives at risk. But, I mean, that's life. If you really love the game, you're going to go out there and compete. And that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. And the same thing with the virus. I mean, you can get it not playing football. So, I mean, it's really our decision. And Coach gave us that decision. He's really harped on that, I mean, if we want to play, we can. If we want to opt out, we can. So he's been doing a great job, and the training staff, everybody in the training staff, doing a great job of making sure everything is clean. So, I mean, we really don't try to look at that. We try to let everything, take it day by day and let everything take care of itself.
Cool. Thank you, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Frank.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
get the next player in there.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, give me 1 second to do kind of a quick adjustment to the camera. There should be a black line on the ground right below you. Make sure your feet's behind it. And if you do me a favor, go ahead and take a step backwards. Yeah. Try to make sure I don't cut off the top of that. All right, just 1 second. Go ahead and give me a quick 10 count, just to make sure your audio sounds good. If you don't mind, you go ahead and just count to 10 real fast to make sure your audio sounds good. Can you give me a quick 10 count? All right.
5, 4, 3, 2,
1 second. All right. And I'm good, Kyle. It's all you.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Lowell. JJ, you're first.
Hey, Lowell, how's it going?
Fine, good. How's you?
Oh, not too bad. Thanks for joining us. What's it been like this last week? Getting to getting back on the practice field for the first time in a long time, and just getting out there and throwing the ball around? What's it been like?
It's actually been a blessing, man. A lot of people haven't been able to play football, so for us to still be out here and go play the game we love, so we appreciate it and we cherish it every day.
What's this quarterback competition like? The coach says you guys are really close. Frank just said you guys are really like all friends. What's it been like going through this competition with those guys?
Man, honestly, me personally, I don't try to look at it that way because, at the end of the day, it's not none of our decision. And far as who decides to win a job, obviously we want, to play to your best potential. But, it's never a situation where, I'm hoping one of those guys is wrong so I can win the job, I always want everyone to be, to the best of their ability, and whoever wins the jobs, and, I'll be glad for those guys.
How would you say your season went for you last year personally?
We went through some growing pains, but, towards the end of the year, we started piecing the puzzle and kind of started finding an identity of who we were. So I feel like week by week, we gradually got better and, got some good hope going into this year.
Thanks, Lowell.
Hey, Greg.
Well, how have you grown then from last year to this year? What ways do you see that your play or your game has developed?
The game has slowed down tremendously for me, just being able to see things and just kind of having a feel for things, obviously just being around the guys and kind of having a feel for what receivers can do certain things, how to approach certain guys. So, it's just basically learning our personnel has been my biggest asset.
How well have you been picking up the offense, and how much of a change is that from what you were doing last year?
It's I wouldn't say it's tough, but it's different, especially learning anything new. Coach has been using the phrase, throwing mud on the wall. So he's been throwing basically the whole playbook at us and just kind of see how we can go out and execute it. So, we have a little bumps in the road, but for the most part, I feel like us as an offense, we're catching on to it pretty well.
Do you feel like you have a standout trait or anything that sets you apart from the other quarterbacks?
I think everyone's unique in their own way, I can't sit here and say I do this better than this guy does this better than me, So God made everyone unique in their own way.
How about from a health and safety perspective with the pandemic and everything that's going on? How do you feel about the prospects of playing through a whole season? Do you feel completely safe?
Absolutely. They've been doing a great job and having great protocols for far as just being able to protect us and certain guidelines that we have to follow. Just keeping our masks on, the things they provided us to keep us safety with hand sanitizers, Lysol, and just how we can't be close to each other during meetings and everything. So I feel like they have our best interests at heart with that.
Just recently, it seems like there's been a lot more focus on myocarditis. It's the heart condition that can develop in athletes who come down with COVID-19. Is that something you guys have discussed as a team, or what's your sort of awareness and level of concern with that?
We kind of I wouldn't say briefly discussed. We talked about it for a bit, and we kind of understand, this is not a joking matter, something that is to be played with. But, Coach always tells us, if we don't feel safe playing, let him know, and we're always welcome to come talk to him about it.
All right, anything else for Lowell? All right, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
All right. There should be a black line right in front of you. Make sure your feet are behind it. And go ahead and look at the camera. I'm going to position it real quick. Actually, go ahead and take about a half step backwards. Yeah, there we go. Guys are taller, so I'm trying to make sure that top of the backdrop doesn't get shown. All right, go ahead and give me a quick 10 count. Let's make sure your audio sounds good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That sounds good. Make one quick adjustment and then ready to rock. All right. I muted myself. Kyle's all you.
All right, we'll open it up to questions for Josh Adkins. Okay, Greg, you're first.
Josh, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. What's it been like kind of getting settled in here and learning the offense? How's the process going for you so far?
It's been awesome for me. Like Frank touched on, and the other quarterbacks, everybody's welcomed me with open arms. I feel like I'm at home, and the coaches do the same thing. It's been a lot of fun to learn a new offense. It's quarterback friendly, and it's been a joy.
You are kind of the new guy here. What's the relationship been like with the other quarterbacks?
It's been awesome. Just like any of the other quarterbacks have told you, we're really close, and that's just not something that we say to look good in front of people, but it's true. There's genuine relationships there, and it's a joy to come and compete with those guys every single day. Iron does sharpen iron, and it's a lot of fun, and there's genuine relationships, and we're honest when we say that.
Okay, JJ, you're up.
Hey, Josh, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Thanks, well. Hey, tell me a little bit about this offense. What is it? What do you think it's going to look like, and how do you fit into it?
Yeah, this offense, I'm obviously not going to go out here and tell everything, but it's got a lot of different elements to it. It's quarterback friendly, like I said. I think, the toughest part has just been learning terminology. But as far as getting the schemes down, I think most of the quarterback room has really, really gotten it, and the offense is coming along. We're going to be explosive, and we're going to have fun doing it. Without getting into much detail, really excited about the offense, and I think it's going to be a really, really, really efficient offense.
Coach Traylor has said that the staff has tried to make this competition as equal as possible. Do you see that?
No doubt. Yes, sir. We've all been given equal reps, equal opportunity to show what we have, showcase our talents and our abilities. And as far as that goes, I think the coaches have been great, just giving us all equal opportunity, especially without having any type of spring ball for those guys and me coming in late. It's been very friendly in that way, and we appreciate that greatly.
All right, Josh, appreciate you. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Evan, you're up. Hector, you're on deck. Evan, I think you're on mute.
Touche. Missed my calling there. So Josh, let me backtrack here. Obviously we talked before you actually stepped foot on campus and you made that decision to come to UTSA. But now that you are here, you see other people have come transferred in. You see the recruits that are coming in from the city of San Antonio, the people who are already there from the city of San Antonio. Just, do you feel like this movement is starting where UTSA is finally starting to become the flagship university of San Antonio and keeping a core group of great talent here in the city?
Yes, sir, I do. I really feel the energies around here is great. We're pulling in some really big recruits. Coach Traylor and his staff have done a great job of connecting with these recruits, and it's obvious that this place has a ton of potential, and just tapping into it has been the big part, making it a reality instead of just potential. I really feel the tide turning on that. We've got a lot of talented guys in this locker room, and I noticed that from day one, and we've got more coming. It's exciting to be around this and be able to be a part of it, and definitely, I would say definitely yes, we're turning that tide, and it's awesome to be part of it.
And then for you personally, just what's it like being back home and knowing that you'll be close to home for a little bit?
It's awesome. Just being home, there's kind of this sense of security. You feel like at home, obviously. It feels nice, and it's comforting in a way. To have your family 30 minutes down the road, and you have a lot of supporters. It's awesome, and it means the world to me. It really does.
Thanks, Josh.
So thank you.
Okay, Hector, you're up.
Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Hey, this is JJ alluded to this. Everyone learning the new offense. Don't know if it's crossed your mind, but does that almost help equal the playing field for you as a transfer coming in terms of the quarterback competition? Because it's not like you're trying to play catch up. You guys are all learning, a new offense. You thought about whether that factors in to your favor?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's crossed my mind, just thinking about, we're coming in on an equal playing field because we are learning a new offense. And unfortunately for these guys, they didn't have spring ball either. That's another thing that maybe helped me out a little bit instead of starting behind the 8 ball. It's more of a level playing field. But as far as learning the offense, I think the quarterbacks have done a great job of learning it. And, like you said, it might be a factor there. And I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but definitely could be.
Thank you, Josh.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Josh, with everything that's going on with the pandemic and kind of the state of college football, how safe do you feel with the process of going through the season as everything stands right now?
Yes, so Nick, the training staff, and Coach Traylor, they've been very transparent with us, making us aware of all the precautions, making us aware about how serious this issue is. We feel safe, and we feel that it's our decision to play. Coach Traylor has made it apparent for each and every one of us, if we don't feel safe, we don't feel at all comfortable to come and talk to him. It's our decision to play, and it's not going to be held against us or anything like that. This is a serious matter, and we're all made informative of the situation. And as collectively as a team, I just feel like we want to play. We put a lot of work into this, and we feel safe. So there's really no reason not to play, and we want to play.
Just from an individual perspective, how did you evaluate the risks? Did you have any personal concerns coming into the year?
Obviously, nowadays it's hard to really know what to believe because of the media and things like that. But, when you're surrounded by great people, you have great information like Coach Traylor, family and friends and a team around you, collectively we feel that obviously there is risks, but we want to play football and we feel safe. And, we are in a bubble. We're doing a great job of taking care of our teammates and our families. And, it's something that's calculated, and we feel safe and we feel strongly about it.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Thanks, Josh. We'll get JoJo in there.
Thank you, guys.
Jordan Weeks is in here.
All right.
Let's back it up.
So there is kind of a black line on the ground right in front of your feet. You can look at it, make sure your feet are behind it. And adjust the camera real fast. Actually, I might have you just take a half step back. You're a little taller than some of the guys we had. There we go. Yeah. Just making sure our backdrop doesn't get shown in the back. Give me 1 second to frame you up. All right, go ahead and give me a quick 10 count, just so I make sure your audio sounds good. If you don't mind, just go ahead and counting to 10, just make sure your audio sounds good.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. And do one last thing, and then I'm ready to roll.
You gonna come out? Oh, he's so nervous.
All right, we'll open up to questions for Jordan.
1 second, Kyle. 1 second. Oh, not quite done yet.
No.
Now I am.
Okay. All right, JJ, you're up.
Hey, JoJo, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad, thanks. Has it been like this last week or so getting back on the football field? It's been a long time since you guys played without any spring. What's just been like overall?
I mean, it's been great getting back on the field with especially all the quarterbacks and the offense. It's just a blessing, really, that we're out here. And a lot of schools don't get to do this, and it's just a blessing that we have the opportunity to play still.
What's it been like trying to learn this new offense? How different is it from last season?
It's been a little challenge, especially everything we've gone over Zoom, and some of us are in-person learners, and some of us learn better just getting told what to do, So it's been fun getting to learn this whole new offense, and challenging for me and for I guess some of the other quarterbacks too. So.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
JoJo, how's it going?
Going good.
How do you describe the relationship between yourself and the other quarterbacks? What's that dynamic like?
Oh, it's awesome. I couldn't ask for any better teammates. I mean, we joke around and have fun, and at the same time we're all serious and can work together.
We learn from each other, and I learn a lot from the older guys. I mean, you got Frank and Lowell and Josh. They're super smart, intelligent guys who work hard, and it's just fun to be able to work with them and learn from them.
You guys are obviously all fighting for one starting job. Is there a competitive side to that, or how do you guys approach that competition?
Of course, there's a competitive side. We all want to do great. We all want to succeed. But there's also a side where I want us to do good. If it's whoever being the starting quarterback, if that's what's best for the team, that's what's best for the team. If we're going to win, we're going to win with somebody else. We're going to win with me. It's whoever does their best, and whoever the starter is going to be, I'm going to be happy for them and happy for the team.
How do you evaluate your play and the things that you do well? Where does your game stand at this point, or how have you grown from last year?
I've grown just knowing like football IQ overall. Coach Davis and Coach Lyon have really helped me just understanding football just in general. I just become better with my footwork and reading defenses and just having better reads.
Okay, Hector, you're up.
JoJo, good morning.
Good morning.
Does that November 30th game against Louisiana Tech seem like 2 lifetimes ago?
Yeah, it does. It does. That was a really cool experience. I'm blessed to be able to play in that game.
When you think back to last year, JoJo, what first of all, I guess if you could answer your mindset and then what you gather the team's mindset is it one of those, you look at it as a situation where last year's last year, totally done, that's it? Or do you carry, given the disappointment and how rough it was with all the injuries and everything you guys went through, do you carry a little bit of that with you as kind of a chip on the shoulder?
Yeah, I would say we carried a little bit of chip on our shoulder because last year it was tough. We had a bunch of injuries, just things just really weren't going our way sometimes, and so I always will carry that on my shoulder as something I learned from. I've just learned a lot from last year. Again, work harder. It's always there's always something to learn from every situation. And last year was a big learning curve for me, and helping me be better as a football player and be able to work with my teammates.
Going back here to that Louisiana Tech game, and then the little bit of time you got in that A&M game as well. When you think back to those experiences, do they help in terms of now that what you're preparing for right now in the competition at quarterback?
Oh yes, sir. They help a lot. I mean, I had no idea I was going in the A&M game, and having an experience like that where you haven't played a single down and then you get thrown into the game in front of 90,000 people. I mean, you don't get that up quite often, and being able to handle that and overcome that has really helped me just be more comfortable this year and knowing what to do and what to expect.
Thank you, JoJo.
Yes, sir.
Okay, JJ, you're up.
JoJo, do you remember that Southern Miss game your freshman year? And can you kind of go back and tell me how much you've changed as a quarterback since that time?
Yes, sir. That's a game I'll never forget. I was young and I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. I was nervous. And it was a crazy time then. Didn't expect to even be playing at that time. So it's a blessing that I got to play. It really pushed me to be better. I don't like losing, so I had to step it up and learn better and be more engaged in meetings, and it really helped me in life as well.
UTSA kind of threw you into the fire back then because of necessity. And do you feel like you're a much different quarterback as far as your skill set from then to now?
Yes, sir. I've improved a lot, I think, really with my footwork. And like I said, with Coach Davis has been with me pretty much the whole way. And he taught me a lot. I used to come in all the time and just talk to him about coverages and what to do when this happens. And it's just been a blessing that he's stayed here with us too this season. So those games last year really have helped me and made me become better as a football player.
Thanks, JoJo.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Greg, you got the last question.
Cool. So, Jojo, with the pandemic and everything that's going on with the team from a safety protocol perspective, how safe do you feel going through the season?
I feel extremely safe. I mean, all these coaches have stressed wearing a mask and washing their hands and staying away from each other. And the training staff has done a great job with just teaching, just showing us how to stay safe. Of course, we want to play, and we all feel safe playing, you know. And Coach Traylor, I mean, he's told us we have the option of not playing or not, but we all want to play, you know. We all feel safe. We can come talk to the coaches whenever we want about it. If not, and but I do agree. We all feel safe, and we all want to play.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, everybody.